Hidden on the Laona Plateau between Paphos on the southwest coast and Paphos on the north coast are many ancient Cypriot villages. We're going to explore three of them and discover a few of their hidden secrets. Our 5-mile trip is going to start and end in the village of Droushia, a mile west off the E711. For the walkers, there is a convenient place to park behind the Droushia Heights Hotel. For those driving, be careful as some of the streets in the villages are very narrow, and Cypriots will park anywhere. At 600 meters elevation, the breezes provide some cooling in the summer. The views are incredible with the Arodes Mountains to the east, the sea to the north, and the Akamas National Forest Park to the west. We started by heading up to the small village square where we found a couple of traditional coffee shops and some taverns. We took time to enjoy a Cypriot coffee to get the laid-back feel of the place. The village has many traditional houses in narrow lanes with carved doors and windows. Not far from the square, a hotel offers rooms for the night in some of these stone houses. From here, we visited the old Byzantine church just above the square with its beautiful icons. Up the hill, past the church, is the Weavers' Museum, also known as the Akamas Rural Life Museum. A lovely little place which shows weaving and carving exhibits and has some of the older villagers demonstrating these disappearing skills. Further on is the local dairy that makes traditional cheese from goat and sheep's milk, specializing in halloumi. This unique cheese has a high melting point, which allows us to fry it or grill it. Very popular throughout the Middle East. We stopped for a tour. From Droushia, we turned right and headed along the road to the village of Ineia. This little village offers the same interesting stone houses and a couple of other stops of interest. Near the village square is the Ineia Turtle Museum. We're not sure why the museum is at this location, but it offers lots of exhibits and information about the endangered turtle species that nest on Laura Beach, which is 5 miles away down the hill on a rough road. Following the steps above the museum took us to a shaded plaza where we got some of the more fantastic views of the Akamas and the sea. Across the road is Olinos, one of the best vegan restaurants on the island. Heading south, we left Ineia on the road toward our next stop at Arodes. We took our time along this mile or so of road, as it offers great views of farms, vineyards, gorges, and sea, and wildflowers. Arodes is actually 2 villages. The first is Lower Cato Arodes, and the upper Pano Arodes. This is not uncommon in Cyprus, often designating the older and newer sections of a village or town. The lower was a Turkish Cypriot village abandoned after the 1974 invasion. Some of the houses have been fixed up and are used as summer homes. Others have fallen into ruin. We found the old mosque and the school still in pretty good condition. A quarter mile further up gets us to Pano Arodes with its narrow streets, old houses, and its old square. The village population has been decreasing since the 5.9 magnitude earthquake in 1995, and the young people have found jobs in the cities. At the square, we found the St. Canelodian Church with its legend of the 2 gravestones. If you want someone to fall in love with you, you scrape some of the dust off the limestone on the St. Agathotokos sarcophagus in front of the church. Mix it in a drink and get your desired one to drink it. They will immediately fall madly in love with you. If you want revenge, or you want your lover to leave, go around to the back of the church and do the same with the St. Misitokos sarcophagus found there. The one at the back seems to be more worn than the one at the front. Beside the village church is the village coffee shop, where the locals come to enjoy a leisurely drink and gossip with their neighbors. Leaving the square to the right of the blue building, we came upon the Museum of Templar Ages. Arodes' original name was Rhodes because it was owned by the Knights of St. John Hospitalier, whose headquarters were on the island of Rhodes. They came to Cyprus with the Knights Templar in the 13th century after being driven out of the Holy Land. The museum deserved the time it took to explore all the exhibits and listen to the staff, who gave us a great explanation of the night's history and what we were looking at. We also had a hands-on experience trying on chainmail and helmets. We were not finished with the museums yet. Just up the road is the Akamas Geological and Paleontology Information Center. Say that one quickly. According to their website, the main objective of the center is to inform visitors about the various rocks and fossils on the genesis of the island of Cyprus. They have great displays of rocks and crystals with informative explanations about their history and where they came from. Going back to the square, we veered to the right and passed out of the village to the open fields and the 2 miles back to Droushia. After a fascinating day out exploring, it's a perfect time to stop at one of the taverns in the village and enjoy a leisurely traditional Cyprus meal. We could not decide what to order, so we ordered the meze, which gives us a little bit of everything. We enjoyed some of the local wine in the shade under the grape-covered patio. We really appreciated a day finding the real flavor of Cyprus. I hope you've enjoyed today's trip and will give it a try yourself. Please remember to press the like button and tell your friends. Subscribe if you want to be notified of the next day trip in the out-of-the-way parts of Paphos in Cyprus. Bye for now. See you soon.